What's good, everybody? It's your boy Adrian Nyce. Welcome to another episode of Mouthin Out. Right now, we have another guest in the hot seat, a special guest. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming. For real. We're in LA, guys. We not in the Carolinas. We in LA. What's your name for the people back home?
Hi, I am Iyesha Damali, and I'm also from North Carolina, from Charlotte to be exact.
Yeah, Charlotte shit. That faux shit.
Faux shit.
Goddamn.
No ho shit. No ho shit. Big faux shit.
Okay, so we're in LA. How does it feel to be out here?
It feels amazing. Like, since I was 4 years old, I think I wanted to live out here. And, damn, how old am I? So I think by the time I was 23, 24, I live out here. And I'm like, yo, that's wild. Like, little baby Iyesha would be so proud. She would think I was cool as fuck.
And you've been out here how long?
Only a year now.
Only a year? Yeah. Wow.
Like, started the pandemic, basically. Yeah.
And so you came, really at the start of the pandemic? Yeah. So you was coming out here like, oh, I'm about to be in Hollywood, whatever, and everything shut down.
Correct, yeah. I moved out here in, like, January 8th, and everything shut down March 17th. So, yeah, I had, like, 2 months, but I didn't really get to frolic. I was unpacking my home and stuff. So maybe, like, 1 month of experiencing L.A. for what it was, but it was L.A. wintertime, you know, so. And then I've been locked in the house.
So what did you come out here for originally?
I'm an actress. I'm a model. So I came out here to focus strictly on acting, like to take advantage of the opportunities out here. So.
And so for the people back home, what I tend to do is like to paint a picture or a timeline. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is your upbringing. Okay. So what town or city or whatever, well, you're from Charlotte, correct?
I'm from Mooresville, North Carolina. Okay, I was born and raised there, and I moved to Charlotte when I was in high school to move in with my dad, and I finished out my high school years there. So
for those of the people in the world that are watching this interview, what is Mooresville like for the people that haven't been there?
Okay, so I'm from Mooresville, which is about 35, 40 minutes outside of Charlotte, north, heading towards like Lake Norman. So where I grew up in the country with on land, like a dirt road type of thing. So where I grew up, very slow, in country and white. Mm-hmm. So then I moved to Charlotte to meet my polar opposite.
Okay. And so what was it like in your household? Were your parents cool? Were they into modeling, like your mom or anything like that? Or maybe photography, the visual arts, et cetera, et cetera?
No, I'm probably the only creative, at least in my immediate space, or was definitely growing up. Yeah, no. I was like the weird one. I was the weird artsy kid, the weird artsy sibling, the weird artsy cousin that people didn't really understand. I'm walking around speaking in accents. You know, I had like a little English accent. I would just start talking in, and people would be like, why is she's so weird? And it's true. I am. Especially in my family. I'm the weird one for sure.
So like what were they doing? Like, so you were the only artsy one. What were they more so focused on? Like, get a job type? Are those the type of parents? That's the type of parent I had. Go get a job. You 9 to 5. This is not going to happen.
My mom wasn't really strict about school. And because I grew up with my 2 older brothers, like I think I was really advanced because I would hear or see them go through school and stuff. And they were not good at school. But for some reason, by the time I got to something, they're like, how do you know X, Y, and Z? I'm like, oh, I got older brothers. They're like, oh, so they taught you? I'm like, no, they didn't teach me actually. But, you know, that we were all really into sports. My mom did not play like lazy children or playing video games and stuff. We didn't have video games. We didn't really watch TV or get on the computer. We all played sports all year round. So like that was all of our focus mainly was doing sports.
What about you? What sports did you
Wait.
Basketball?
Yeah. Yeah, so the very first thing was dance as a little girl. Then I did gymnastics, and then I did soccer, and then I did gymnastics and basketball, like back and forth for a few years. And then through high school, I played basketball solely. And then I tried track, and I tried volleyball also. But yeah.
Track wasn't the move.
I hate running. Sorry to my coach if she ever sees this. I was cheating every day in practice when they be like, run 8 minutes as our warm up. I'd be like, shoot, as soon as coach turned her head, I'm walking. I hated running, but I was a really good sprinter. So I could sprint. I did like the 50-yard dash. So I could sprint really well. But even up to like 100 and 200, like, count me out. I hated it. Yeah.
And so after high school, you went to ECU, correct?
Yes. When I graduated, I went to 3 different high schools. Lake Norman High School, then Waddell when I moved to Charlotte, and then Harding is where Waddell, nobody knows what Waddell is. But and then Harding University High School is where I graduated from, and then I went to East Carolina University.
And so your plan wasn't to play sports in college, correct?
No, not at all.
What was your plan going into college?
So my first 2, I chose East Carolina for its theater program. And I went there. My first 2 years was for the theater program. I took professional acting and costume and set design and sound and lighting. And then after 2 years, I just wanted to change my major. I wasn't excited about the program like I was when I first started. It was kids that grew up with encouraged backgrounds of theater and being artsy. So they went to arts, like schools of the arts. They knew all the playwrights. They knew, all these things that I didn't know, and it wasn't a part of like my schooling and education. So it was always like, I don't know, like I didn't fit into that puzzle piece.
So do you think it was more so the people in the program or the teachers in the program or the program in general that kind of led to you switching?
Probably the students and the professors, which the ones that I liked the most were probably the meanest professors. Like the ones who were like so hard on me. Like I would get A's on everything and then still like, so much critique. But I like that because I'm like, you can get an A, you can get 100 on something. Doesn't mean you don't have more to learn and more to grow. Like the acting skill classes were my all-time favorites. But then when it came to like Shakespeare literature and like literally cutting out the sets from scratch or sewing from scratch the costumes, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't enjoy this at all. And we had to do what was called crew hours. So even after all of our classes, when people are starting to party and go to the pool parties after school, like I had to do hours. It was like, oh my God, I felt like jail.
So they put you through it all?
Yeah, but I like that. I like being multifaceted because I think it's important when you are a creative and you are an actress specifically. It's good to know all angles of the camera. Like, it's good to know what it looks like behind the camera so you know how to look in front of the camera.
Yeah, when I was setting up, she was like, how do I look on camera? I need to make sure you look good.
Looking good. Yeah,
I ain't mad at it. Okay, that's what's up. I agree. I when I went to film school, I liked the stricter teachers because once it was all said and done, and when I was working on my projects, I knew what the fuck I was doing. It made me better as a director, et cetera, et cetera. And then the students that didn't get those teachers, they weren't on the same type of level as, the other people or whatever the case may be. Cool. Okay. ECU, you graduated, right?
Yes.
Got your degree?
Yes.
What was your degree in?
I have a bachelor's in science for kinesiology. So that's
kinesiology.
Yeah, it's health fitness. So I'm a certified personal trainer. And I always really like nutrition, and working with athletes is like my favorite in the kinesiology realm. Like working with general pop, like I found was not my favorite thing. I didn't enjoy that very much.
That's cool because, so do you do that now? Sometimes? Like, do you work in like gyms and shit like that or just work with that?
When I graduated, I was working first in like sports performance gyms. So I worked with like athletes who are training out of season, and then college athletes training for the pro day, training for the combine and stuff like that. So then I went to a box gym, which was, just general pop. It was at a, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. Whatever. It was a box gym. It was a fitness gym.
I mean, what would you not?
It was a Lifetime. I didn't know if I was allowed to say it, but Lifetime Fitness is where I worked at. And so
yes, you can say
it. Okay. Trying to have nobody's thing snatched away. But, yeah, I worked there, and I worked with, like literal teenagers up to like senior citizens, people who had injuries, people who were athletes when they were younger and maybe just older trying to stay in shape, people trying to lose a lot of weight, people have had surgeries. And I just found that people like to quit too much, whereas when I was working with athletes, nobody quit. Like nobody said, well, why? Or no, I forgot to, or I didn't want to. Like, no, like they just ask how high kind of thing. And I'm very goal driven and oriented. So it's like, if somebody gives you the formula to get somewhere and you're like, oh yeah, I just didn't really feel like it, I'd be like, okay, well, no shade, but you're just not serious. And when you're serious, come back. But in the meantime, don't waste my time because you're my walking billboard. So
Aries mentality. Trying to tell you, goal-oriented people. That's dope.
I'm an Aries all day.
All right, so now that we're in Hollywood, and you said, you're out here mainly for acting, correct?
Yes.
So do you know what an elevator pitch is?
Yes.
Cool. So, so what I like to do is I like to paint a picture, and within this picture, I'm gonna have you pitch yourself to, we're gonna say like film studios, the major film studios, film directors, casting directors, et cetera, et cetera. You're gonna pitch yourself on why they should, cast you, work with you, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And you only got 1 minute. Oh God. You only got 1 minute. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're in a big corporate building. Okay. Big corporate building, official looking motherfucker. It's tall, skyscraper. We're at the top of the elevator.
I just got hot.
So, yeah, we're at the top of the building. We're in the elevator. Who's in this elevator? I'm in this elevator. You're in this elevator. We got the top execs from Warner Bros., Universal. The who's who is in this elevator. Okay? Now you got 1 minute to pitch yourself on why they should work with you. You ready? Okay. And go.
Hey, my name is Iyesha Damali. I am professionally trained in acting. I also model. I can give you a list of all my references and videos and short projects and films that I've been in. I'm a very multifaceted actress. Also, if there's anything that I'm unfamiliar with, I love to do the research. I love to do the behind the scenes, getting dirty, and really diving into my character to bring it to life. Whatever your vision is, I can do it. You can trust me with the rock. I'm gonna score. But yeah, there's nothing that I can't do, because if I can't do it, I'm gonna figure out how to do it. So I'm your girl, Iyesha Damali.
The whole voice change and everything. She got serious. Woo! Okay, so if they do come across this interview and want to tap in with you, what's your social media, your email, or anything like that?
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Iyesha Damali. And also my email is iyeshadamali@gmail.com. And I'm going to have my website up soon that has just my photo shoots, videos that I've been in, and short film projects and short feature film projects that I've been in, mostly independent projects. So you'll be able to see a range of all the things I can do. And also I can email you my reel. If anybody needs it, I can get you my reel.
Y'all make sure y'all tap in with her. I haven't seen her work yet, but she, she's got the mind and everything like that. So we going to
email you my reel.
Okay, so you've been in Hollywood 1 year now, correct?
Yes.
But you haven't really gotten to experience the real Hollywood because of COVID.
Yeah. Allegedly. Everybody says there's like a lot to experience that I haven't got to because of COVID.
Yeah. Hollywood shut down right now. Yeah. How has it been dealing with COVID? Because I was actually here 2019, so prior to, and I left right in January before it even started, before I even knew it was going to happen. So I didn't get to experience it out here either. So what was it like in Hollywood during COVID?
Yeah, mostly shut down for a long time. So I'm in like a big chat kind of thing where we pitch submissions for different photo shoots, videos. If somebody needs a model for a boutique, or if students are doing film projects and they need actresses for it. I'm in like all kinds of chats like that. And so for a long time, like everybody was like, oh my God, like what do we do? Everybody in the world, nobody has experienced this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is totally new for everybody. But then slowly, like some things started picking up. We had to get super tested for a lot of things. I did a TV show. Actually, the episode just came out. I did Ellen's Game of Games.
Wow.
The episode just came out and I actually missed it. I forgot to tune in. But hopefully I looked okay on it. But we had to be like super tested for literally everything I've done. Like some sets like you get to and you got to literally stand outside till they give you a clearance to go inside. Some of them will like you have to come with your paperwork saying you've been tested, but
Temperature check, all that.
temperature check. I've had a place like do the prick my finger too. I didn't even know that was a thing, but they pricked my finger and took my temperature and did like the blood test or whatever, like right there on set. It was crazy, but it was good. I mean, it made me feel more comfortable being around everybody else. But even everybody had to do that to even walk in the door, and still everybody who was not a talent on screen had to keep their mask on the whole time.
So hearing that, did you see when I think it was Tom Cruise when he was spazzing on set, or did you hear about that?
No.
Okay, so look, I have this segment called "What the Fuck is Going On." So what the fuck is going on? So we had Tom Cruise. He his audio came out. Somebody must have been recording or whatever. This is during COVID. You know, a lot of the big major sets got shut down. They weren't allowed to film, but so they were filming. They were allowed to, as long as they follow the rules.
Yeah.
And so crew members were, you know, allegedly not following the rules. So this guy is spazzing on everybody, just basically saying, you know, for lack of better words, just like, why do y'all keep not following the rules? Just wear your mask. You know, literally the whole industry is shut down and they're allowing us to film. You're costing people millions and millions, or you know, their jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But he was like yelling. Yeah. I can't remember if he cussed or whatever, but this guy was yelling. Yeah, what do you, if you were there and that was happening, do you think it should be, that should happen? He should spaz on people if they continually, if it's going to cost the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't think it should even be his job. There should have been a list of people that would, even before you get to him, that could have handled that problem long before the actor has to take themselves out of their character, out of their element, to address their literal physical safety. And it depends on the set, but the ones who take it very serious, take it very serious. There is no, we tested you outside, but we're all in here. Like, they had all been tested and still kept all their masks on. Like, I don't know how much I can talk about one of my projects, but one of them, everybody kept on PPE the whole time. Face masks, face shields, PPE, after being tested, and after anybody they were in front of had been tested. Every PPE up if they weren't on the camera. Like, if you were even holding the camera, if you were directing, PPE up. Like, did not play those games. So I felt, I didn't hear about that, but that's unfortunate that it had to be his job to cuss everybody the fuck out, because you know, he got to go home, you know, to family, to kids, to loved ones, to his parents. Like, his grandparents might live with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just try to be conscious of everybody's level, how they feel about COVID and how they feel about their safety. Like, if somebody's around me, like, wearing a mask, you know, I'm going to wear mine too, because I want you to understand that I respect your safety. Like, no matter how I feel about it or what I think is going on, I'm going to respect how you feel, and I'm going to respect your safety and your mindset. Because the very least we could do is respect each other's mental health, I think.
Thanks. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm gonna shoot you that, maybe, because he was going off and he was like, if it happens again, y'all fired.
Yeah, I mean, it should be like, and I don't know how long ago it was, because of course as it's been like a roller coaster, some people are taking it, you know, super super serious and very paranoid. Some people were like, fuck it, we've been here so long, I quit giving a fuck. Like, if we die, you know. But I understand it's been a roller coaster for a lot of people. So depending on, especially when it was, like, I'm sure he really was like like, y'all got me fucked up, put your mask on. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, damn. Okay, so thus far, in the film world, do you get treated a certain way because you're a woman in acting? And then do you get treated a certain way because you're black and not of a different race?
Yeah.
That you notice.
I will say that my main focus is working with black talent, black creatives. I like to feel comfortable in the space I'm in. Have I been treated a certain type of way because I'm a woman? Of course, probably any woman of any race probably has to experience that. And then if you're black on white sets, you probably have to experience it even more. I have just been on mostly black projects most of my career, besides in school, which was difficult because I was one of the only black people there. So, oh, wow. Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason the program wasn't as fitting for me.
Did you get shunned at all? You're the black sheep in the group, or because you're black, we're not going to cast you for this role, et cetera, that type of stuff?
Um, I
Because
think so. I think so because so and I'm not gonna say black people didn't do their thing. That my classmates that were black and in the program did their thing. They were dope. But it's like if they're casting a family, right? Even in theater, even in acting, if they're casting a family, and I go to a mostly white school and the black people make up a small percentage of the school, like 15% or something, then they're not going to be like, here's the mom and then here's the dad, but then here's the black kid, like, white, and then black kid, like, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I kind of understood it sometimes for continuity, but then I also understood that these were projects that were put out, but never with the focus of let's tell a black story, which, I mean, I guess I can appreciate my white school not telling a black story, my PWI not telling a black story because it's not really their place.
I mean, but that happens a lot in the industry. You have a lot of white directors, producers making films about the black culture or whatever the case may be.
And you can always tell when there's not a lot of black hands involved. Like you can tell when it's, I mean, and it's not to say that, there's not super talented white producers and directors and stuff like that, but they at the very least need to have a team of people around to be like, we actually wouldn't say that. That's not something we do in our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like my dream, like I said, like in kind of designing a world around things that I like and I appreciate and celebrate, my culture, my black people, my dream. And I put this on my vision board. I slapped a big old picture of Issa Rae on my vision board, as well as a lot of other super talented people I love and appreciate. But I'm like, Issa Rae, she's so relatable. Her content is amazing. She puts her friends on. She builds up black business and supports them. I love everything about her. So I'm like, to be a part of her team where she literally started from the ground, YouTube, and employing her friends. And now she can do that on a much bigger scale because they believed in her. But she was really telling black stories that we could appreciate.
Do you only want to work in black films, or are you open to?
No, I'm open. I'm multifaceted. I can just only speak on like what I've done so far and what maybe I like the most.
Because I'm just asking because you hear a lot of people like, I only want to work for black, blase, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just like, you're kind of bubbling yourself in.
No, I don't want to bubble myself to say that I would only do this. I just appreciate it and I celebrate it because I know a lot of people aren't. They're going to be like, oh yeah, that was a good film, but that was just like a black film, or that, like classic black films, you know what I'm saying? Like I can be a part of black things that aren't just known as classically black. They're just classically good and they are black also. Yeah.
So how do you feel about like the award shows? We have the Oscars, which is relatively for everybody. Everybody's accepted, but then we have the BET Awards, which is only black entertainment type stuff. How do you feel about
that? What do you mean? How do I feel about it?
I guess, do you think so? Yeah, so I definitely think, our culture needs to highlight our achievements, et cetera, because, the Oscars and other award shows have, what do they call it? When we should have won the award, but snubbed us. There we go. But do you think it is okay if they don't, I guess, accept like white, you know what I'm saying?
Tyler Perry basically said like, I don't care if they don't appreciate it. It's not for you, so to speak, but it's also like, I wouldn't expect you to understand. There's plenty of times I go to, your movies or your events that I'd be like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why this is good, but it's good to y'all, so that's cool. Like, and it's not even that it's like, well, I didn't get an Oscar or I didn't get a BET award. Like, that's fine. Nobody has to understand it because at the end of the day, if you're there or you're even nominated in the slightest, people are watching you. People are inspired by you. Like, I actually think it's unfortunate when people are, they feel so snubbed because I'm like, your fans, are what matters. It's not these people who voted for you who don't understand your art. The people who understand your art are the reason that you're in these rooms in the first place. They like what you do. They appreciate what you do, and they see the value in it. Like, fuck their little trophy.
So what if there was a, like, white entertainment?
I think there are several white.
I mean, there are, but they're not labeled. They're not labeled.
I don't because they get to be what they consider the standard, like the standard of beauty. There is no like, oh, she's pretty for a white girl. It's like, no, she's just pretty, and then you're pretty for a black girl. So it's like that's why we celebrate blackness because any other time you're not considered the standard. You're not considered automatically beautiful. You're just beautiful for a black girl. So absolutely celebrate Black people celebrate, people of color, make our own lanes, because there's going to be times when they're going to be like, well, we're the majority, and that's why the majority voted for this white film or what have you. Like, okay, we'll create our own lane, because that's what happened, with the Negro League baseball, right? They're like, oh, you can't play with us. We create our own lanes, and then it's like, oh shit, they created their whole league by themselves and they have better records than the MLB. Like, shit, let's bring them in now so we can put their records with our MLB, really, so they could take the money, honestly. But it makes them more profitable, even though they're not highlighting themselves, they're highlighting black people. So
You're a very intelligent girl. You can speak very well.
It can only benefit you to include black people. That's all I'm saying. It can only benefit. Is all I'm saying.
I agree 100%. So you've been doing a lot of modeling too. Mm-hmm. What type of modeling gigs have you done?
A lot of music videos, a lot of boutiques, like fashion boutiques, beauty campaigns. I'm waiting on some hair ones, which I feel like, because I don't have hair anymore, it should be easier to get some like wigs and stuff. Yeah. But so if y'all come out there, ask me about my rates. But yeah, mostly music videos. I've done like runway and stuff, which I hated. Like, it's not fun.
Why?
Oh my God, because you're sitting in the back, hungry as fuck, and tied into your outfit for like hours waiting on a show to start, and then a button's gonna pop last minute. Because Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will. So, you just be back there hungry and bored, and then you walk for like 30 seconds and it's over. It's like, damn, that was so fruitless. Like, I'd rather do a music video or, photo shoot where I'm changing clothes like every 5 seconds. And
so if you had to choose between the two, what would you choose, acting or model?
Oh, acting.
Most definitely.
100%. Because when I'm an A-list actress, as I manifest and speak that, I'm going to have hella photo shoots, you know what I'm saying, for magazines or whatever, red carpets, and I kind of get to model too at the same time. So
that's true. So modeling is kind of like a stepping stone in a sense.
Yeah, every time I'm on a set, I'm always like, who's the director, who's the producer, who's the makeup artist, who's doing wardrobe today, and like, I just like to know who everybody is. And the casting directors, I try to find everybody on set instead of like sitting in the back room, like just chilling on my phone or like eating from the crafty. Like, I'm walking around trying to like get to know who people are, because I'm like, when an opportunity comes up and they say something about we need an actress, like, oh my God, like I met this, and she had a really great attitude. She was really, humble and kind, and went out her way to be, noticed on the set, and didn't just hide out in the back room and wait till she had her time on set and then leave. No, I try to like meet people and show them my personality, because I feel like those are things that people are going to remember. They're not really going to remember
the girl who was in the back eating.
Yeah. They're not really going to remember the pretty face. Everybody, this is LA. Everybody out here has a pretty face. Yeah.
Wow. I'm excited to see like what happens like after, because you've only been here a year, but I mean, you haven't even experienced Hollywood yet, because it's COVID Hollywood, which is crazy. But I
think that's to my benefit. I think that it gives me a chance to get in and only focus on work and not so much focus on the fun. And even though the fun here is and should be networking, like when you go to a party, you should be like, yeah, this party's fun, but let me find the who's who. Let me find who I need to know. So I haven't got to experience that part, but I've got to kind of slowly get into what I'm doing, because I am so far from home and I don't have any family here, like I'm just trying to figure it out. So it feels good to be like, I can take it slow, because everybody else is taking it slow right now. We're on a global pomegranate, you know what I'm saying? So, figure it out slowly.
What's next for you in your eyes?
I want to do another feature film, another independent one. I like them. I think that they're fun, and you have unlimited creativity. Like, you can do a lot more things when you're independent versus when you have, a big machine trying to tell you what to do for what they like, I want to do another one, maybe one or two of those this year, at least two.
Are you trying to get, are you with an agency right now?
No.
Are you trying to get signed to an agency or SAG actor, et cetera, et cetera?
I am. I just want to take my time to do research, because there's a lot of times when you get like messages and stuff and you're like, oh, okay, this sounds like cool, you little country wide-eyed girl, from the South. You're like, oh my God, like this person's messaging me, and then I bring it to the internet spaces that I have, like with other actors and creators, like, oh my God, guys, what do you think? Oh, actually he's a scammer and like a pervert and whatever, and you're like, damn, I really thought I had a cool opportunity. But it's okay. Like, I'm going to take my time and just do my research to find who fits me and who cares about my interests, and not, just what I look like or whatever.
What's your ultimate goal? Ultimate goal in acting. What is your ultimate goal, end goal?
I hate to say ultimate to even put a cap on it, but when I star alongside like my Viola Davis, whom I love down, she's my favorite. I want her to teach me the snot cry. Like that's I want her to teach me how to cry out of my nose like she does. But she's so talented and so, oh my god, like just like universal. She can do so much, and I think when I can co-star along with her, not even just for the finished project, for the journey of learning alongside of her, like people that I've watched the interviews of, like, oh yeah, her first day on set, she did X, Y, and Z, or at her first table read, she brought with all these notes and whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, like she really, really values and really takes the time to do the work, and I just want to work. I just want to work with her. Like I love her down. So that's probably top tier. When y'all see me with Viola Davis, just know I am fulfilled.
Hopefully she comes across this interview, sees you, and what's your social media one more time?
At Iyesha Damali, and my email is iyeshadamali@gmail.com.
Okay, so before we go, I have this last segment called One Piece of Advice. Okay, and so what I would like for you to do is give a couple pieces of advice, but first, give one piece of advice to up and coming female actors in the United States trying to make it.
Oh God. Okay. Don't take every opportunity, because every opportunity isn't a good opportunity. And if your soul tells you to say no, that means something better is coming. It's kind of like your challenge to be like, where is she at in her own mentor, in her own morals and her own values? They don't have to look like any specific thing, but are you being true to yourself? So don't take every opportunity, because something better will come. Okay. For sure.
Now, give one piece of advice to up and coming models trying to make it in the industry.
Ooh, probably about the same. Like, don't take everything. Like, and also everybody with a camera ain't no photographer, so be careful. Don't go anywhere. You're not allowed to bring somebody on set with you as a model. Like, acting is a little bit different, but as a model, don't go onto a set where they'd be like, don't bring any extra people. Nah, you just don't need to go.
Set up. No.
Yeah, and also, like, set and name your prices. Like, and don't just be like, oh, I want this because I just want it. Like, what does your work back up that people should be paying you for? Like, because, like, for me, I don't just pick numbers out of the air. I'd be like, what have I been paid before? How long was that day? How much work? How much did it take out of me? Did they want me to post on my social media? Like, whatever. Like, all of these things is what's going to help me, like, make up my price and stick to it. Don't let people be like, we only have the budget for whatever. Be like, well, go find that budget model, because it ain't me.
I like her. Okay, and so for the last piece of advice, give one piece of advice to 21-year-old you.
Oh, God.
21-year-old you, where were you? What was you doing?
Okay.
Give one piece of advice to her.
Don't let what people might say deter you from something you want to do. I feel like I missed out on a lot of not missed out, but I missed that particular opportunity or that blessing because I was afraid of what people would say or what people would think, or people be like, like, who does she think she is? Like, do she want to be an actress or whatever, a model or anything? Like, don't worry about what people are going to say, because chances are, for one, you probably never going to see what they're going to say anyway, because people are, scary. They're going to stay behind their computers. But the other thing is, they may not even be thinking that. They may literally be like, damn, I wish I had the courage to also do X, Y, and Z. And, people are just, I feel like people are mostly mean out of fear. Like, they wish they could do what you're doing.
So don't even pay attention to it and just go for what you want.
Do what you want to do, or do what you're curious to do, try new things. And just, if I wanted to rap tomorrow and I'm like, I don't want to rap though because people are going to be like, bitch, why you rapping? Like, so try it out. You might make lots and lots of money, or you might fail, but you definitely going to fail if you don't try. So
that's a fact. Yeah. Dropping gems. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by with us.
Yeah, let me tell them about my podcast.
Oh my God, the podcast. Yes, thank you so much. So she has a podcast. What's the name of the podcast?
My podcast is called The Living Room 4440. That was the address of me and my best friend in college. So these are kind of like best friend talks, like in our living room. So We have lots of segments: Black on Black support, Black excellence, mental health, affirmations. We also talk about pop culture and what's in the news. So it might be, what racist bullshit happened today, or what Nicki Minaj was wearing on a carpet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a list of different things. So check it out. You won't be disappointed. We also feature indie artists for every single episode. So if you want to feature your song on our track or have your new album shouted out, just let us know.
Is this virtual? Is it in person?
So this is strictly a podcast, but you can find it on YouTube. It's not a visual, but you can find the audio on YouTube. You can find it on Apple. You can find it on Spotify, Google Play. I don't remember what all, but basically if you go to the link in my bio, or if you go to our page at livingroom44_40, you'll be able to find the link to take you where you need to go to find it.
Is there a website coming soon? All that jazz, or is there one?
We don't have a website for our podcast. We probably won't, but we are working on some really dope merch. I didn't want to say, but yeah, we have some really dope merch coming out. But we do really cool collaborative Black-owned giveaways where we give away all kinds of stuff. So just check us out and work me a good time when you're driving, working out, cleaning your house.
And you said y'all have been doing it a year so far, right?
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years almost, so a little over a year and a half. Yeah.
And how many episodes?
We just put out our 38th episode, so at our 50th, we're gonna be doing a big giveaway.
Very quickly, give me your most favorite episode with. Give me your most favorite episode. They can go to, listen to right now.
I would say, so at the before and after every episode, we'll be like, okay, Queen, like, let's talk real quick on the phone before we get off, or before we start recording. What are our intentions for this episode? What do we want this episode to do for our audience? And we set that intention and stuff. And we always want to make y'all laugh, but we also want to inform you. We want to keep you entertained, but we also want to give you, what you need to know and what's going on in Black culture. And we're two millennial Black women, who are college educated. We already know that gives us a privilege, and it gives us advantage over a lot of people, like in a way where we try to look out and be like, we know that we're coming from a place of privilege, even as two young Black women. Like, we know that everybody has their own advantages, and we try to reach up and we pull up. We don't do no crabs in a barrel. We pull up. So, yeah.
Dang, okay.
So, with that being said, any episode, honestly, check out the latest episode. We put good energy into every single episode. You're not going to listen to one and be like, oh, they was off today. It's not going to happen. Pick any of them.
Yes, please go check them out. Run the streams up, run the views up, all of that. Any last words before we get out of here?
No, just thank you guys, and stay creative, stay Black.
All right. That is the end. Thank you guys for tapping in. Please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Mouthin out, Mouthin. Like, share, comment, all of that. Like I always say, F what you talking about, because over here we mouthin out. Peace. Ah!